Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm so happy. I see that people are already here. That's so exciting. Thank you so much for those of you who have started introducing yourselves. Welcome to the masterclass. I can't believe it's been 3 weeks since we started the the crochet along, and you guys are doing so well. I'm very impressed by the amount of posts and comments on Facebook and Instagram posts, and I know that there's like hundreds of people out there working on your Vesuvius, and I'm just so honored and so happy to have you guys here. Thank you so much for coming. Today we have a very chill class. I'm going to be here for a whole hour, so hopefully we're going to complete lots and lots of things. I'm going to tell you about how to do all the edging. Sorry, I know a lot of you have already completed your t-shirt, so you probably don't need this class, but hopefully it will be a time to just kind of check in, see how you guys are doing, and talk to each other. That's what the chat is for. And obviously we're going to have prizes today as well, so it's very exciting. Let me just get everything ready. I had a little bit of a scare with technology again, which is obviously very scary. But I think I figured it out. And see, I'm having an issue again. My camera is not there. There you go. I think I'm good. Yes, I am good. Great. Well, thank you for everyone connecting already. Let's see, we have someone from Wisconsin in the USA, Ludlow in Shropshire. I imagine that's in England. Some Italy, from Germany. Whoa, 2 people from Germany, Delaware, Maryland, Newfoundland. That's really cool. Nice to see you. Plymouth in the UK, more from Germany. Wow, someone from Mumbai in India. That's amazing. Saskatchewan in Canada. Thank you guys so much for coming. Ada joining for San Francisco, where it's nice and cool this morning. Yeah, in England it's pretty awful today. We've had rain all day, but at least it's nice and warm, so I don't complain too much about warm rain. Oh, someone from Galicia. Wow, very cool. Arizona, California, Brighton. Wow, that's so cool. Thank you guys for coming. I want to show you, Stockholm, Sweden. I just love how international this community is. That's so cool. Susan says, I'm running a little behind on the tea. So yes, hi Susan. I am running very far behind. So I'm going to show you guys where I'm at, and it's a little bit embarrassing, to be honest, because I haven't done much since last time I gave you guys an update. If you remember, I had a mistake. So I haven't even joined at the underarm. That's how far behind I am. I'm so embarrassed and sad. But do you guys remember how I made a mistake on this side? Yeah, so I had 2 double crochet rows, one after the other, which meant that that was a mistake. So obviously you have to alternate double crochet and cluster rows. So I messed up and I had to take away all of the edging. Yes, this is the one. Yeah, so I have, how many rows so far? I've done just one. Goodness, just one row of the edging of the increases at the neck. Sorry. So I have to do, I think there's like 9 rows there, or 4 pairs plus a single crochet row. So yeah, I have a bit to go for my front, and then I'm gonna join the neck. I mean, I haven't even done that. Oh, that's so embarrassing. But to be fair, I have been working really hard on other things. So I am really sorry that I'm behind. I had all of the intention of the world to finish really early and have a nice photo shoot to show you guys my new red Vesuvius t-shirt in Suave by Pasquale. And yeah, that's not going to happen because I'm probably not going to finish it for another, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. I'm going to try. I'm almost done with very important works in progress that I'm working on at the moment. So hopefully I'll be able to put a little bit more focus on it and finish it on time. Susan says, I did exactly the same thing and had to frog back. Finally was able to join the neck. Oh, so frustrating. I think a lot of the times I would probably be okay with leaving a mistake in my projects. Like, it's just one of those things that kind of gives a personality, you know. You're like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened. But I feel like with this, it just felt too obvious for me, so I just could not let it go. But normally I would be able to let it go. Hannah says, good morning. I'm way behind too, but that's okay. I'm really enjoying the pattern. Thank you so much, Hannah. I am so glad you guys are enjoying. I'm very, very impressed by how many of you have finished and how many of you are working on it, obviously, but also how many of you guys have finished, because it's like hard to put down, right? And because the rows work quite quickly and there's like enough variety that you don't feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again. So I think that's really cool. Let's see. Where are you? Darlene, you said, really loving the invisible joint. It's so perfect after every round. Honestly, I discovered this invisible joint, I don't know, like a few years ago. And I literally put it on every one of my patterns that is working the round because it makes a huge difference. And sometimes you can't even see it. Like I have to, whenever I show some people how to do it, I literally like have to look for it. So it's really, really fun. A great technique to know, and hopefully you guys can use it on other things as well. Okay, Carolyn says, I'm confused on the sleeves and lots of people are trying to help me, but it's so hard to communicate through messaging. I totally know what you mean. So for this goes for everyone, right? If you guys have questions, Facebook is great to get help from. You can add videos, you can add pictures, and loads of you have been super active on the Facebook group, which I really, really appreciate. Thank you so much for helping each other. But I'm always here to help. So if you ever have a question, feel free to email me and send me a picture, and please be specific. Like right now, Carolyn, you said, I'm confused on the sleeves. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, are you confused about how to start it, about how to join the round, about how to work, which row to work? Like, I don't know what you mean by that. So if you guys can be very specific with your questions, I don't know how to do this, or what do you mean by that? Then I can help you more easily with a more specific answer. Okay. So if you're talking about the edging, we're going to be working on the edging today, and we're also going to be working on the side of rows. So hopefully that will help you understand how to work on the side of a row. And yeah, I'm hoping that that helps. But if you have another question, feel free to ask it here or email me again. Or again, Facebook group is there, right? Let's see. I'm currently working on joining the underarms. Loving the pattern so far. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I think for any of these top-down designs, joining at the underarm is like this amazing moment, where you're able to try it on and see how it fits, and it's just so rewarding, isn't it? You're like, yes, I made it. It feels really, really good. So you're almost there, Rebecca. Um, Okay, so it says this one. I'm curious as to why the pattern asks for a chain two and a double crochet in the same stitch in the beginning of a double crochet row instead of a stacked single crochet or other way of making a starting double crochet. I mean, that's my preferred method, but you can do whatever you want. If you feel like doing a stacked single crochet or doing some kind of starting point, then do that. Like I prefer to, honestly, I usually do just one chain as a starting chain for any double crochet row, but I know people get confused and a lot of people think that it's a mistake when I write it on the pattern, so I just let people do whatever they want. As standard, you do 2 chains for double crochet, 1 chain for single crochet. So yeah, feel free to get creative, do whatever you want. I'm not the boss. So yeah, I wrote the pattern that way just to make it easier for people to follow it and to not feel confused when they see something new, especially because like I will use chain one on double crochet rows when you don't have any increases, but on rows where you work increases and you go sideways, you do need extra length there. So I do actually do 2 chains on those rows where you have increases so that you have enough length. Otherwise it starts kind of curling a little bit too much, or if I'll do one, I'll pull it a bit bigger so that there's more space. But yeah, again, there's no specific reason. I think doing a stacked single crochet is one of those techniques that not just advanced techniques, but it's one of those things that you kind of learn with time, with experience. So if you want to do that, then feel free. But it's not something that I ever would write on my pattern unless it's like really necessary. I stopped working on the pattern and finished the sleeves and neckline so I can plan the body length. That is a very good idea. Loshi? Oh, Joshi, sorry. No, there's a thingy on it. Yes, I think that's a very good idea to work on the top first, just to see, first of all, to see how much yarn you have left over in case you're playing yarn chicken, but also to just see how it fits and then see how much length you need. Because that neckline, I've seen so many messages and comments on Facebook about how wide the neckline is at the beginning. And I felt the same when I was designing it and I put it on. I was like, oh my God, this is so wide. What have I done? I do not want to have to repeat this again. So I didn't, and I just played with it, and I worked the neckline right right after I had joined the underarms, and I was like, woof, okay, this works. It looks really, really nice. So I totally get it. Definitely work the sleeves and the neckline if you feel like you need some time to decide on how you want the body and just to know exactly how it fits. Okay, someone's asking, this is a question in Spanish. She says, yo no sé cómo se hacen los aumentos con el punto enano en relieve desde atrás. No me salen. Okay, so Shan, that is an increase on a back post stitch. Oh no, on a slip stitch, right? We are not actually doing the slip stitches in relieve. Like that is a back post one. We're not doing that today, but I will teach you how to do increases with a slip stitch today. All right, we actually should probably get to work if we want to finish everything. But I will talk about how to do the increases with slip stitch, and hopefully that helps understand and clarify all of this, okay? Someone says, I've been doing just a chain one at the beginning of these rows too. Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those techniques that people kind of pick up as they work crochet for longer. And like, again, there's so many ways of doing like invisible joints, and just do whatever feels better for you. Okay, let me see. Oh, no, not that one, sorry. Sorry, guys, I have to talk and look at the camera and look at the chat. So sorry if I lose my concentration for a second. That's a good tip. I've been doing more sets of rows for the body, so might run out of yarn. Yeah, I totally get the whole yarn chicken thing, but yeah. But I wish to learn inset the sleeves from Sandra someday. Such a great t-shirt too. Very few designers who make an effort to teach finishing. Thank you so much, Prachi. I hope that this tutorial kind of helps you a little bit. And this is the wonderful thing about doing a live, because you're able to ask questions, and hopefully I will be able to just really clarify those doubts, because there's nothing really scientific about these techniques, but it's just nice to see them done, you know, especially with slip stitches. Like, we're not used to working with slip stitches, so whenever someone tells you increase one with a slip stitch, you're like, what? But that's just 2 slip stitches, you know. It's nothing exciting. Okay, this one, yes, mine looked huge too, but I trusted the process and now it's turning out exactly right. Thank you so much. That's so great. I'm so happy when people just trust the process, because I do put a lot of thought in these designs and a lot of effort to make sure that they fit right and that they look right, not just on me, but on every size that I design for. So yeah, and thank you for trusting the process. Prachi is asking, is the live masterclass happening? Yes, this is it. You are at the live masterclass. I'm just having a little chat before we get started. But yeah, this is the live masterclass right now. This second, you are in it. So please feel free to ask questions as we go. Like I said, I'm going to go through both techniques. So I'm going to work through the sleeve edging and the neckline edging, which is the faux I-cord one. And then I'm also going to work the bottom hem one with the slip stitches. So hopefully I will answer all of your questions. Now, because this is not on Zoom, I'm not able to see you, and I'm not able to see if you raise your hand or if you have a question. So if you have a question, please ask in the chat, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, now Sophie, I love that you asked that question. I was hoping someone would. So Sophie says, I see an interesting jumper behind you. Are we having an exclusive preview? Well, yes, you are, Sophie. No one's actually gotten to see this one except for my testers, and that is the Mosaic cardigan. And it will be released on August 1st with my new crochet community. Now, this is a very, very special pattern that I've been working on in my head and, with my hands for so long. I literally had a whole sample made and I had to undo it because I just didn't like it enough. But yeah, it's finally ready to be released. And let me just show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. So it will be released August 1st and it will be out with Plyful, which is my new crochet community. And when you sign up to Plyful, every month there will be a new pattern released, and every month you will be given 1 credit. Now you can use that credit to download the newest pattern or to download any of the other patterns on the library. And the best part is that I'm not going to be the only designer in this community. There's actually a really exciting list of designers joining me. So I'm the first one in August, and it is the Mosaic cardigan that will be released. But in September, I have Linda Skuja with a design. And then in October, there is B-Ray from Laramie Loops. She's from Turkey. So I just have loads of great designers already in line. So every month, there will be a brand new design exclusive for the community. And yeah, that's what we're having. And it starts in August 1st. So right now, you can't sign up yet. Everything starts in August. How do you get to see? How do you, Preki, you're asking, how do you get to see? What do you mean by that? What do you want to see? I would love to answer your question if you explain. So yeah, that is Plyful. We'll be plyful.com, and we start on August 1st. And that is going to be our very, very first design. And I am so excited to show you guys more because the designs and the designers that I have as guests are amazing. And they're all working really, really hard on creating exclusive designs only for this group of people. So if you want to own the pattern to the Mosaic cardigan, literally the only way you can do it is through Plyful. So I think it's going to be great. Susan, is the cardigan done in waistcoat stitch? No, it's done with Mosaic crochet, and it's actually really, really easy technique. Oh, and the best thing about Plyful as well is that every month we will have 1 live crochet along session in which, if we have a guest designer, we will bring them and we will interview them, and you will able to ask them questions. And we will also have a live masterclass. So just like this, but maybe less chat. And in which the designer will explain how to make the whatever technique they're using. So for example, for this one, I will be having a Mosaic crochet masterclass, and I will teach you how to do all of the increases for Mosaic crochet that I use in this design and how to work the technique. And all of that is included in your membership. And the best thing is that the membership is actually cheaper than most of my patterns. I know, I didn't want to do it, but my husband convinced me. So it would be really a waste to not sign up and not take advantage of this amazing opportunity. So yeah, I will show you the design later, okay? Because we really need to get to work now. But yes, definitely keep Plyful in mind, and definitely stay on my newsletter so that you can find out of everything, and I will get in touch with you as soon as we can, as soon as there's something to see, right? But actually, this will be revealed on Instagram today. So you are the first ones to see the design live, and I will grab it later and try it on so that you can see it properly. All right, let's get to work on our samples. Okay, so first I'm going to be working on the slip stitch edging. So I don't have a full sample of my Vesuvius, as you can see. Sorry, I can't see the chat. What's going on? There it is. Yay, Plyful, I'm in. Thank you. Yes, Zoom Hangouts for Plyful. There will be a monthly hangout for all Plyful members. So yes, there will be one every month, plus a masterclass as well with that. Okay, so yay. Okay, Excited to see you are teaming up with Linda, my two favorite designers together. Thank you, Sophie. I love Linda. Her designs are amazing. She as a person, she's so professional and wonderful. And I am really, really, really excited for you to see what she's working on. Okay. Stop distracting me, people. So first of all, I want to apologize that this is not a Zoom and I can't hear you. So I hope you don't get sick of my voice very soon. If you do, just mute me and look at my hands. And I will do my best to work as fast as I can. All right, so this little sample is kind of the way the rounded corners should look at the end of your bottom. This is the front. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 rows worked here. So what I'm going to do is work the edging around here so that you see how I increase and how to work the slip stitches. So this is the top and this is the bottom. All right, so according to the pattern, let me find it. I had to restart my computer and I lost everything, didn't I? All right. So according to the pattern, we need to single crochet first, and that is the setup row for our edging, right? Here it is. Now, the way this is set up is so that these markers are the corner markers. So this is the bottom marker, and this is the top marker of that rounded corner, okay? Now, in theory, this is where the split hem goes. If you didn't add any kind of length after you split for the bottom, then you will have your marker at the very, very top of that split and then your rounded corner. If you did add length, then you should have a little piece of fabric right here, and you will start right at the bottom of the split. So then you will work downwards until you reach your marker, and then you will work your rounded corner. I hope this is making sense with such a small swatch, but I just didn't want to work a whole t-shirt, and I'm obviously very behind to show you with my own t-shirt. So this is what's going to have to happen. Now we would be working on the right side. So this is the right side, which means that imagining that this is the other corner, I am coming this way towards my next corner. And I'm simply going to single crochet until the end of the row. So this is the bottom hem right now. And I'm simply going to single crochet until that marker that I have there. And I'm using a different color just so that you see more clearly what I'm doing. Whoopsie. But please feel free to ask me to repeat anything. And yeah, so counting sheaves. I'm on the road in the US and can't see the video, but don't have the audio. I'll have to listen later. Good to be here though for a short while. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, it's great having you here. It's great having all of you. Okay, so I have worked, whoopsie, up to where my marker is. And now I'm going to work on the side of them. Okay, so I'm going to work on the first one here. I'm going to put my marker here. So on the side of this same single crochet row, you should have, there it is. Sorry, I'm a bit confused. What did I do? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I feel like I went blank for a second. All right, so I'm going to work on the side. Now, one of the rules I have when it comes to working on the side of rows is to always pick up 2 strands of yarn, okay? So not just one. If you just pick up 1 strand of yarn, you will make a big hole. And if you pick up a whole stitch, especially now that it's a big decrease there, you're just going to have a huge hole to deal with. So what I do is I just put it inside that edge stitch and I work my edges there. And on these ones where there's a little bit of a hole, that's okay because that's the stitch, the way the stitch works. You don't really need to hide it. But especially when you work on the post of the stitches, that's where I try to hide my stitch as much as possible. So I'm working on my rounded corner. Right now, there are no increases. Just working on the rounded corner. And I'm doing 1 stitch on the side of single crochet rows and 2 stitches on the side of double crochet or cluster rows. Okay. Now, this is a bit trickier than just working inside the whole stitch, but I honestly do think it looks better when you do that, when you just grab 2 strands of yarn instead of the whole stitch. Like here, right? If I just put it in the bigger hole, I just don't think that will look as nice than if I just kind of stick it in the middle. All right. So this is the very, very first row for those of you that are just arriving. Oh, I actually had a little title for this one, didn't I? For those who are just joining us, this is the bottom corner, which is the slip stitch edging. And at the beginning, it starts with just a single crochet row on the right side of your work. And remember, always the single crochet rows are the right side and the double crochet rows are the wrong side, or the cluster ones too. Okay. One more, and then one more on my single crochet row. So this single crochet is the one before you started your rounded corner, okay? And we're going to keep the marker there. Now, in theory, this is where the top of my split hem should be. Again, if you added length, then you should be able to continue working upwards until the top of the split. But I am there because I'm imagining that my split is there and then my back continues on this side. Yeah? Are you with me? I hope so. Okay, and then what we're going to do is going to chain 1 and turn. I should have 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 stitches. What did I do wrong? Oh, I think I added an extra row. Hold on. Hold on. Let me just make sure. I should have 11 stitches. So what did I do wrong? I think I did an extra row of something, you guys. Oh, this is the back. I should have 13 though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. I think I did something wrong, but let's imagine that I do have the 13, right? Sorry, guys. I did this swatch really quickly when we got home quite late from being out. So for the back, we're doing the back, not the front, people. All right. Good to know. Let me just keep track of where I am. For the back one, I should have 13 stitches in between my markers. Now, if you don't have those 13 stitches, it's not a huge deal. Literally just move the marker. Just the idea is that the increases are going to be around the middle. Okay, that's the whole point. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Okay, so now we're going to start working with our slip stitches. Now, the most important thing about working with slip stitches is to keep your stitches loose. The moment that you tighten your slip stitches, it's going to be very, very difficult to work in them again. So all you're going to do on row 2 is do slip stitch on the back loop only. Now, if you see right there, this is our stitch. We have 2 loops. The front one is the one that's closest to you, and the back one is the one that's the back one. That's the one furthest away from you. So we're going to work on the back one, the one that's furthest away from you. Pull and then pull through. Then I'm going to do it again at the marker. Now I insert my hook there, and the easiest way to work slip stitches is by holding on at the back here. So I use my other fingers to hold on to here and then just slip my hook through. All right, and then I'm going to place a marker there to keep track of those stitches. Now that I've gone to the marker, I'm going to do 4 slip stitches and then 1 increase. So In the back loop. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as you see, I am not making anything tight, all right? The whole point is to keep them really, really loose. I'm going to show you that last one. So I hold it at the back, insert my hook, and then holding it here, I just slip past, okay? The problem with slip stitches, a lot of people do this, and I used to do it too, is that you pull through one, and then you pull through the other one, and then you tighten. And you see how small that stitch has gotten? It's going to be so difficult to work in it next row. So you want to leave them nice and loose. Insert your hook, hold onto the back, and slip through. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I do an increase. So 1 and 2 in that same stitch. Nothing crazy, nothing scientific, nothing difficult. Just 2 slip stitches in the same place. And then I'm going to do 3 more slip stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now that I'm here, I'm going to do 1 more increase. 1 and 2 in the same stitch. Okay, and then I will continue slip stitching past the marker and along my bottom edge. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if you had the right amount of stitches in between your markers, you should have 4 before the marker. I work in the marker, I place my marker again so that I don't lose that one, and continue all the way until the end. Again, if you notice how I do my slip stitches, just slip past, nothing gets tightened, really nice and loose. If you have a really hard time keeping your slip stitches loose, then use a different hook. Use a larger hook to do it, and that should help. There you go. So that's my first row. Now the next one, we're not going to do any increases. We're simply going to slip stitch on the back loop only all the way to the end. Again, I have half of the back, right? So here in theory, I would have to continue and then do my other rounded corner on the other side, but I can't do that because my swatch is only tiny. Sophie says, I really struggle to make them loose, so I hate slip stitches. Sophie, I totally get it. I used to hate them too. And as soon as I learned this kind of way of holding my work with my hands, my fingers here, it just changed everything. Like, I love working with slip stitches now. It's so easy and enjoyable. Yeah, I'm a big fan now. So maybe just kind of find a way, find what works for you. I'm sure there's something that will work to make it easier for you that won't make it like a struggle. Okay, place the marker again just to keep track of that. What time is it? Yeah, we still have plenty of time. And continue slip stitching until the end. Now, this is probably the trickiest part. When I get to the increase, you see the slip stitches kind of tighten and they get a bit like hidden. So always make sure that you work in them. And if it's hard to find them, literally use your fingers to pull it apart and make space there. There you go. And 2. And these increases, what they do is that flat corner that you had at the beginning, it starts getting nice and round. See, again, I have to actually pull it apart. And I'm using worsted weight yarn, by the way, just so that you would be able to see what I'm doing. But obviously with the pattern, is fingering weight yarn or maybe even sport weight yarn. So it might look different from what I'm doing, but the idea is exactly the same. The sunbird crochet, there's something really relaxing about watching you crochet. Thank you. I think it's so funny how we all have different techniques, different ways of holding the hook. You know, it's kind of nice to see. And there you go. Now the next one is row 4. And all we're going to do is do exactly as we did with row 2, but we're going to increase in different places. So instead of doing 2 increases, we're going to just do 1 increase right in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to slip stitch one. Now I'm going to tell you a secret. I work really, really hard to make sure that the maths are right in my patterns and that, you know, they get tech edited and all that. But a difference of one stitch is not a huge deal. So if you're like, oh my God, I ate one stitch, I don't have one, like, just fudge it. Like, I always fudge things whenever I'm working on things. So please don't worry about it, all right? If you're off for one stitch, don't worry about it. Okay, Joshi, great question. Hold on, let me just finish this bit and then I will answer your question, okay? So I need 7 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now I'm going to do an increase. 1 and 2. Okay, and continue all the way to my next marker and all the way along the bottom hem. Now, Joshi is asking a very good question. She says, why did you choose the back loop slip stitches for the hem instead of the faux I-cord that is used around the neckline and the sleeves? The reason why I did that is because I wanted them to look similar, to look the same, right? So you want to emulate the same kind of texture. But the problem with the faux I-cord is that working on the back post only looks like that if you work only on the right side. But since the hem has to be worked flat, so you have to turn and work on the wrong side, then the back post stitches just didn't look right if I turned and worked on the wrong side after that. So I had to figure out a way in which I got the same kind of knit look without having to work all on the right side. So maybe if I had worked, I did think about doing both the back and the front hem in one big loop, but it just left too much of a gap in the middle and I didn't like it. So I decided to just find a way to get the same look, but worked it flat. So in theory, I could have used this same one, the back posts on the neckline and on the sleeves, but I didn't. I guess I just like the faux I-cord, the way it looks and the way it kind of cinches in the fabric just a little bit, just enough to make it look nice and pretty. I hope that answers your question, Joshi. So clever, Dana. Well, thank you. I feel like I love that compliment. Yeah, so that's basically it. I mean, there's no real reason for it, but yeah, and on this last one, we're just going to slip stitch all the way to the end. And again, when I work over that increase, just make sure you catch both stitches without skipping any of them. And then on this last one, you don't have to keep the markers on. She says, Sandra, you're always so thoughtful with your patterns. Well, I try to be, but sometimes it bites me in the bum and I end up complicating my life more. But luckily this time it worked really, really well. To be honest, I hadn't solved that puzzle until the end. Like I worked the neckline and the sleeves and I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to do these rounded corners. So there you go. It worked out pretty well. So here you can see how it's rounding. It's not enough because these stitches are quite big. Like if I had worked with worsted weight yarn, I would have added more increases in the middle. But with the fingering weight yarn and the way that edging looks, it's just very nice. It rounds it just enough, you know, so that it looks nice and even. So that is how you work the slip stitch edging on the back loop and how you increase when you need to increase. Does anybody have any questions about this one? Anything else you'd like to know about this edging? Joshi says, both the edgings look beautiful on the tee. Thank you so much. I am a huge fan of that back post slip stitch single crochet edging, although it's not the easiest to work and sometimes it's quite time consuming, but I do think it's so worth it. And I love that depending on the yarn you use, it usually kind of curls in and it just creates a very lovely edging. Let me show you this guy, I was wearing this today. This is my Kitzbühel cardigan, and it has the same edging around the button stand and everything, and it kind of just curls in enough that it just gives it an extra bit of texture, and it's stretchy but not too stretchy. I think slip stitches can be a little bit tight sometimes, but this one doesn't do that. And yeah. Susan says, Sandra, I so appreciate that attention to detail. It makes the finished crocheted garments look finished instead of sloppy. Thank you so much, Susan. That means seriously so much to me, because I work really hard to create patterns that don't look, sloppy. That's the right word, sloppy. Yeah, like you want it to look like it's something that you can wear, and that's something that you might have purchased, and I think that's very, very important to me, and I'm glad you guys appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna go on to the faux I cord edging. So I've worked a little tiny sample here. This is where I'm at now. The first row, this first setup row, is a single crochet row. If you don't want your edging to cinch in too much, you need to start increasing the size of your hook from the setup row. So that very first single crochet row has to be made larger, because the moment that you work around the post stitches, this one will reduce already. Okay, so if you use it for something else, remember that as well. Okay, that first single crochet row has to be done with a larger hook if you don't want things to cinch in. In this case, I'm going to use the same hook that I've been using, and I've worked all the way around my round, and this is my very first stitch. There's my invisible join. You can see it right there. And all I'm going to do is work around the post of the stitches from the back to the front, and then back to the back, back to the back. Praki saying, Prachi, sorry, I don't know how to say your name properly. How much does it reduce? It depends on your tension. It depends on the yarn you're using. It depends on so many things. I can't give you an exact amount, I'm afraid, but it does make a huge difference. So I usually use a larger hook just to keep it contained. So it still reduces it a little bit, but not like cinches it in. But if I use the same hook that I use for the body of the garment for the edging, it does kind of create a bit of a bubble sleeve kind of thing. All right, so you do want to kind of increase it just a little bit, like a half a size, half a millimeter is enough to keep it even, but control. So it does kind of keep it in, but not, the size doesn't get reduced. It just gets pretty. I don't know how to say it. Goodness, my words are gone. But if you wanted it to be loose, the same side. Okay, here's what I wanted to say. So the edging kind of has less elasticity as you work, right? So when you work the edging, that elasticity gets reduced. It takes it away. So it doesn't mean that it's smaller. It just doesn't stretch as much when you wear it. Okay, does that make sense? So if you wanted to stretch as much as the rest of your garment, then use maybe a whole millimeter larger, maybe more than that, to avoid that cinching in. All right, I hope that helps. Sorry, I'm just reading the chats. Here says, interesting technique. I'm probably behind too. Started off quickly and then have been mostly slacking between the lives. Plan to catch up though. Yeah, I plan to catch up. I know I am well behind, but I really, really am planning to catch up. All right, so let's start with our back post stitches. Now, this is my first stitch. The way you work around the post is that you have to go under the 2 loops to the front, and then you go around the post underneath the 2 loops from the next stitch, and then pull all the way through the back again. Now this is going to be my BOR, beginning of round stitch, so I'm going to place a marker there so I don't lose that one. Okay, and then I go around for the next one, in you go, and continue like that. And that's it. I'm probably not going to work the whole 4 rounds of this because that's a lot of rounds making back post stitches. But yeah, nothing scientific. And the way you already can see how it's kind of curling in a very, very pretty way. Someone says, I don't want it to pucker up around the neckline. No, it won't pucker up, especially because you do have a bit of flexibility. So if you feel like it is puckering, give it a block, and then that should usually fix most things. Blocking is amazing. But if you feel like if you're making it and you're like, oh my God, that looks like a kiss, like definitely, go up another half a size, but you shouldn't. Another thing that you can also do is simply loosen your tension. If you are, if you feel like it's being too tight, just when you pull it through, just keep it nice and loose. All right, I know a lot of you like to work really, really tightly, but with this kind of edging, I wouldn't recommend tightening your stitches too much. Ada says, are you working from the right side or the wrong side? The back post stitches for the faux I-cord have always have to be done on the right side. Okay, so in the pattern, you finish your sleeve on the wrong side, and then you turn to work the first row on the right side. So you always want to work it on the right side. This is actually a technique that I used for my Teotihuacan top. I don't know if you guys know it. And the way the whole jumper starts is by working this faux I-cord on its own, and then you work the yoke from there. And it's really, really fun to make like that because it does curl up, and then you can, the way I did it in that pattern is that I actually joined the very first starting chain with the last row. I join it on that last row of the edging, and it turns into this cute little tube like an I-cord, and looks really, really pretty. This is so helpful for making the faux I-cord edging. Thank you. No worries, Brianne. There is a video online, but I made it a few years ago, so I don't know how clear it is. That was my first days on YouTube, but hopefully it was helpful as well. Oh, there it is. Thank you for the tutorial on your YouTube channel for the I-cord edging. So helpful. It says, Sophie's asking, so if we find that the neck is a bit large, we should keep the same size hook. I would say, I didn't. My neck was really large, and I used 0.5 millimeter larger for my neck, and it still cinched it in enough to make it look how I wanted it to look. So it's still a wide neck, but it's not like over my shoulder. So I wouldn't recommend keeping the same size unless you really, really want to reduce it a lot. Like if you're like, oh my God, this just feels way too big, then yes. But I didn't keep the same hook. I did go up a size. Oh, sorry guys, I reached my marker. I worked the stitch and then I put it back in. Now here's a tricky part when working back post stitches to know which stitch is which. You have to remember the post is in front of the loops. So if I'm working this next stitch, these loops right there belong to that post right there. So if I have my marker here, then the post that belongs to this stitch is the one in front of it. Okay, I hope that makes sense. That can be a little bit tricky when you're working in the round and then you get to your marker, you're like, oh, which one is which? So remember that the loops are always behind the post of the stitch. Okay, hopefully that helps clarify things. Okay, so Loshi says, only the cast on edge on my neckline seems a little bit more pulled in than the rest of the neckline once I did the faux I-cord edge. Any suggestions? Blocking, my friend. Blocking will fix all of that. If you feel like it's a little bit scrunched up, just give it a little tug when you block it, when it's nice and wet, and all of that will go away. The same with that edging, from the back when we start working the front shoulders. A lot of people have told me that they see a little bit of crumpling there. Literally block it, give it a nice little tug, and all of that is gone. Blocking is magic, I promise. All right. Ikachu, where are you? She says, my neck was really big and I wanted it much smaller, so I went down half a hook size. I have a bit of puckering. I'm consider frogging and doing it with the same hook as the rest of the body. Now, you can do that, but I would recommend blocking it first because yes, the puckering will be there, but you just need your stitches to like relax. All right, you just need them to relax, and once they're relaxed, then you'll see how nicely they fit. If after you have done the blocking they still are there, then yeah, maybe go down a hook size or go up a hook size. I forget. Oh yeah, so you went down a hook size, so it's even more small. Oh, I see. I would say still block it first and see how it feels. Okay, don't. I try to avoid frogging as much as I can, to be honest. Maybe I'm just very lazy, but I just think that your work is your time, and it's try to avoid it. But if you think that that would help, then yeah, use the same as the rest of the body. But blocking can fix a lot of things. All right. Cuando remates ahí, cortes el hilo, ¿cómo disimulas el punto? Okay, Shan, that is a very good question. I do have a tutorial for how to do it, but I will show you how to do it now, okay? Let me just work all the way to the end of my round, and I will show you how to do the invisible fastening. That is a really fun technique that I just really, really like. So you see, I'm using the same stitch, and you can already feel how this is tightening, especially because it kind of curls in. So that is already a smaller circumference, and after just 2 rows of this edging. All right, guys, please keep your questions coming. Sophie says, there's so much frogging that cannot be avoided that I also avoid unnecessary frogging. That is so true, Sophie. Like sometimes you just can't avoid it, right? You just have to go for it. And you know what? It is worth it if it's something that will make a difference, and if it's something that you will wear more, it is definitely worth it. But I do try to avoid it. Prachi, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say it. Do you think steaming helps because blocking is a pain in a monsoon season? Oh my god, I can't imagine. When it rains in England and it's wet, it like literally takes me like 3 days to dry. Yes, steaming will absolutely help. Not as much as a wet block if you want to really change the way your garment looks. Wet blocking is the way to go to really change the finishing and really change the way, like the dimensions. If things are too small, wet blocking will definitely be the way to go. Prachi, thank you. So yeah, but steaming will definitely help. To be honest, I do a lot of steam blocking, especially when I'm feeling too lazy to do a whole wet block. So yeah, feel free to do whatever, but steaming will make a difference. Okay, guys, I am almost at the end. So remember what I was telling you, how the loops are behind my stitch. So this next stitch, let me just hide you. This next stitch is my penultimate, and this is my last one. So there's my marker, and the post in front of my marker, that is the post of the last stitch of the round. Okay, and I'm going to cut my yarn and show you how to do the invisible fastening. So now that I am at the end, I'm going to pull it through all the way. And then you're going to be using a needle. You're going to pull that yarn through your needle. Okay. And then now that you're here, you can see that's the next stitch, right? That's the first stitch of the row, of the round. You're going to go to the next one. You're going to pull it, put the needle underneath both loops of the stitch and pull through. And now that you're here, you're going to go inside the 2 loops from the last stitch. So right where the loop came from, and pull through. And just force your way in onto the wrong side of your work. And now what you have to do is just kind of make sure that this loop is the same size as all the other loops. And there you go. You're just going to fasten off at the back, and that seam is completely invisible. Now you can see that it's a little bit lopsided because you started here and you finished there, but when you look at it just like that, it's invisible. Pretty cool, isn't it? So yeah, that's it, guys. That is both of the edgings that I wanted to show you. Wow, I am tired of talking. I am so sorry for talking so much. So what we have to do next is do the gifts. Yay, prices. So today I have two, oh, sorry. I need two winners. My husband is the one that's dealing with the winners. So we have two prizes. Yay. Sophie, she said, one more question. How much do you go back and forth when you fast enough? Always curious to know what people do. Oh, just once. When I fast enough, I just make one knot. Literally. Here, I'll show you. I wanted to use this this swatch, so I didn't want to fast enough, but I'll show you. So all I do is just pull it through and make a little knot, and then just pull. And I would tighten that knot. I don't want to tighten it because I really want to use the sample for something else. But yeah, that's it. And then when I would weave in my ends, I weave them in on the wrong side. I have a whole tutorial. Oh, do I? No, I don't. That's from my Coco Masterclass, how to weave in the ends. But you just go wherever you can. And I would go this way, and then go in this direction, maybe a few stitches. And then I would go backwards, just a couple of stitches. And I try to go in between the threads. Instead of going fully under the whole thread, I go in between the threads. And that's how I weave in my ends. Okay, hopefully that helps. All right. Love this masterclass. This was super helpful. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You have been amazing. Let me see. Do you think blocking can lengthen the sleeves for Vesuvius, or should I just add more rows on my sleeves? Ishi, you can increase the length of your sleeves, but not by much. I mean, especially because there's only a few rows work there. So if you want a longer sleeve, just work more rows. That's what I would recommend. But yeah, you can. You can increase the length, but not that significantly. It says, I'm probably a bit excessive, but I go through 10 stitches 2 ways. Yeah, I would do it too. I think it depends on the stitch that I'm using. If I'm using single crochet, it can kind of, there's just less space to fill. So I wouldn't go through that many. But if it's, for example, like double crochet or lace, I would do it a lot longer and then go back for a lot longer too. Definitely. I always knot multiple times because I can't trust it, Christine. That's funny. I started doing the magic knot or the Russian knot or whatever it's called whenever I change yarn, like the same ball of yarn for 2 colors. Same ball of yarn, same color, 2 ball of yarn. Sorry, when I run out of yarn, I need to change the ball of yarn. I started doing that magic knot thing. And at the beginning, I was so scared. And now I'm like, well, I don't care. Less sense to weave in. It's wonderful. Okay, so this one says, this was helpful. Thank you. I'm glad I'm doing the faux correctly on my first sleeve. Yay, definitely. I am glad too. All right, guys. So prices today. We have 2 wonderful prices. Let me just make sure I have the right list because I always forget these things. So our first price is from Ritual Dyes. If you guys don't know Ritual Dyes, they are an amazing company in the US that does yarn dyeing, and they have the most beautiful colors and the most beautiful bases. And actually, some of you are working in their yarn at the moment, Undine, which is linen and cotton, I think, and it looks amazing. But yeah, Ritual Dice is giving away $50 a gift card to use in whatever they want. And the winner is One Pink Sunshine. One Pink Sunshine, if you are there, congratulations. Yay, you're the winner. Let me just write it down so that everyone can see. Whoop, how do I write it? There it is. One Pink Sunshine, if you're there, please say hi. Oh, I don't know where you are. Anyway, One Pink Sunshine, you are the winner. Congratulations. Please, 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 I don't know how to contact you from here. So do make sure that you send me an email so that I can get your prize to you. And yay, congratulations. You're the winner of $50 gift card to Ritual Dyes. And our next winner will win. Yay, thank you. There she is. Congratulations, you're working. I'm actually traveling to the US on Monday. Oh, that's amazing. I wonder if you can. I think their shop is in Oregon. So if you happen to be in Oregon, then you can shop in person. How amazing is that? That would be great. Okay, and the other person is winning a yearly membership. Yes, a whole year of Playful. That is so much. So that is 12 patterns, 12 masterclass, 12 hours of hangout, and in the same community we are going to have a forum. You're going to be able to upload your projects and share your projects, and hopefully we want to grow and make it an amazing community. So please come and sign up. But our winner is going to get a whole year for free of Playful. I'm so excited for you. So our winner today is Joshi. Where are you? You've been chatting away, so you definitely deserve you. There you are, Joshi. Congratulations. So you are the winner of a whole yearly membership of Playful, which will include the Mosaic cardigan. Yay! So that is our August pattern. And this is my long sleeve sample, guys. This one I made with all scrap yarn. So it's a fingering weight yarn design. So if you have lots of scraps, whoopsie, I hope I'm not too loud. I hope you will love making this one because it just feels, whoopsie, it feels so good to be able to use up yarn that you've had saved for ages. So yay, congratulations, Joshi. You get this pattern for free and 11 others from loads of different designers around the world. And you get to be part of this wonderful community that is starting in August. And I really, really hope loads of you get to join us and get to be a part of it. And I'm so excited. But yeah, those are the prices for today. We still have a few prices to go. So for the next week, we will have a 10-pack yarn of Paintbox yarn from Lovecrafts and a $40 gift card from We Crochet. And we have another yearly membership to Playful to give away. So we have a live giveaway tomorrow on Instagram. And those are people who have been, so anyone is obviously invited to enter. And the way you enter is by posting on Instagram or Facebook. And you need to use the hashtags Vesuvius Cal and Nomad Stitches Summer Cal. So that enters you into the giveaway. And tomorrow we have our third weekly giveaway. And then at the end of the crochet along, we will have another giveaway for the yearly membership and one of the other projects, one of the other prizes. So you still have, guys, you still have chance to win. Keep posting, please. Keep using those hashtags. And yeah, thank you so much for coming. This whole thing will be uploaded to YouTube. So if you didn't watch the whole thing, if you would like to rewatch it to get clarification on one of the techniques, then go for it. What is the deadline for posting for the giveaway? Literally, I check at 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock is when I do the giveaway on Sunday. So I will check at 5 o'clock, and that is the last day for this week. And then the next week, I think the month ends on Monday, I want to say. Yes, so Monday the 31st at 5 o'clock. That's when I do the last giveaway, and that is the last entry for that week. All right. Now, Sandra, looking forward to learn inset sleeves. Inset sleeves from one day. Please do consider. Inset, you mean like satin sleeves? Yeah, inset. That's probably what I mean. Yeah, well, oh gosh, it's too hot for this. My Coco jacket does have satin sleeves that are already worked into the yoke. So you actually work it top down. I have it right here. And they are not separate satin sleeves, so you don't have to sew them in. But the idea is the same, in which your shoulders fall right where they should be, and you have your shoulder ends there, and it is kind of like a satin sleeve, again, sorry too loud, in the way that it fits. So this is my Coco jacket, and I am actually working on another design that uses this same construction for, I believe, November. So yes, Freshy, it's coming. And there are resources out there. There are definitely already patents for you. All right. Thank you, Dana. Well, I love yours. Dana took, I think it is you, Dana, right? Who was in the masterclass with us, and you finished yours, and it's so, so pretty. So yeah, it's a really, really fun pattern to make, and a really cool construction. Well, thank you so much for joining, guys. Again, congratulations to Joshi and to one pink sunshine. I forgot. Congratulations, guys. Please make sure to email me so that I can get in touch with you and give you your prices. Otherwise, I don't have any way of contacting you. But thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. I'm sorry if you guys didn't win because I don't have prizes for everyone, but congratulations to the ones that did. And remember, there are still chances to win. And thank you again for coming, and I will see you soon. Yes. Okay, I have to go. I'm tired. Bye, everyone. Thank you for being patient and listening to me for like hours. Bye.